Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Now, I've got a few things planned for today, but they're not all going to be in this video. So I'm going to start with this. Now, it seems a little odd for an arts and crafts thing, but I think I mentioned before, I like to look down the kids' stuff every now and again to see if there's anything that I can use to turn into something else. I saw this. Now, I've never tried to make crystals before. Well, I did once, and it didn't work. It was those little, I think you can still buy them, they're like little papers shaped in something or another, and I think they've only got like salt attached to them, and you stand them in water and they're meant to grow into a bit of like a crystally sort of formation. Never worked. I think I was probably either impatient, too young to understand what I was doing, or whatever the reason, didn't happen. I think I touched them too early as well, so they all just crumbled off. So I thought about this before. I want to make some and then turn it into something. So let's have a look at what we got in here and what we can do. And then I did read beforehand that this was going to take about 12 hours, so that's why I'm doing this now, and then something else in a little bit, because I'm not just going to sit around for 12 hours. So I've got a nice little spot over there on my windowsill that's totally in the dark, so I didn't know if sun's going to react to this or not. So that can just sit there. So we're going to have a look at putting them together, and then when they're done, fingers crossed they actually come out right, we'll have a look and see what we can actually turn them into. So, what do we have here? We have some test tube looking things. We have a bag of, I think this is potassium something or other. Let's read the instructions. Aluminium potassium sulphate. Let's crack it open and have a look. What have we got here then? Is it 3 bags of that? Aluminium potassium sulphate. Same. Okay, so we've got 3 attempts at this technically. We've got some test tubes for some reason. I know that's what we're going to mix it in. That's what we're going to mix it with. And gloves of protection since we're handling some chemicals. So let's have a look, see what we got to do. What do you do with the test tubes? Oh, you put the crystals in once they're done. Once they're fully dry. So we don't need the test tubes right now. Okay, so we'll put those away for the second because we don't need them. That's for when we're going to be confident and positive. That's for when we have crystals. So let's pop that back in the box for now. So we're going to need about 50 mils hot tap water and a pair of scissors. Well, let me go and get that now, so you'll hear a little click clack as I take the mic off, and I'll be right back. Click clack, and we're all back. So we have about 50 mils of hot tap water. Let's put the gloves on, do this right, I had a plumbing issue over the weekend, and I had to go through pretty much all my gloves to fix it. I'm officially a plumber now. It was obviously something minor, otherwise I'd have had to get someone in. But yeah, I had to touch a lot of chemicals, so I ran out of gloves, so I don't want to do that to my hands anymore. So I've got to pour, I don't know if you can see that, they're already looking like mini crystals. So pour the entire and stir. Carefully but quickly, okay? Until it's totally dissolved. Says it should take, what we got? Carefully but quickly until the potassium is dissolved. This should take no more, or this should not take more than 3 minutes. And then we'll close it up and leave it for 10 to 12 hours. So carefully but quickly. You can still hear it graining around in the bottom, so it definitely hasn't dissolved yet. So yeah, I thought this would be an interesting... Oh, I'm not going to touch that. We'll just get some kitchen oil in it. Clean it up. I thought this would be an interesting thing to have a go at, given it's something I've never tried before. I've since had a look online to see if there were more different kits to get to try. But they all seem to have mixed reviews. A lot of them saying they've either not come with the bits required to complete the experiment. Still sounds like there's lots of crystals in the bottom. Or that it just doesn't work. Now sometimes that's just because the people aren't doing it right. Like with my, little kit that I remember having as a kid. I know I didn't do that right. You're not going to touch it until it's fully dry. Hopefully we can get to the point of this actually dissolving, because I can hear them all sat at the bottom right now. But we've got 3 attempts, so 3 days worth of attempts to see if we can get something to come of this. Other ones I read you needed to buy separate ingredients, and they weren't like shop bought things. One of them I couldn't even read what it said on the side of the box. I think it had a letter missing. So yeah, we'll give this a shot. It doesn't seem to be dissolving. It just seems to all be at the bottom there. Try the spoon end. Guess the water wasn't hot enough. In which case, we'll try again already. And just add a little bit of hot water to this. I might boil the kettle and add a tiny bit of really hot water to this. It said it dissolves better in hot water. It doesn't say boiling, but it's definitely not dissolving at the moment. No, it's still just all in the bottom there. If I've got another container, I'll try this. Perhaps the water wasn't hot enough. It is really cold. I did let the hot tap run really hot, like as far as it could go. No, it definitely doesn't seem to be dissolving. See, we just have a lump. Well, I've got a... Let me get this little top here. Let's get more spiders in. I'll rehome them in a moment. Let's just put this one in there to see what happens. Then I'll pause the video for a second and I'll boil the kettle and see if it's the temperature of the water issue, because it says that it's got to dissolve. But it's definitely not dissolving. But I don't know if I put much more water in there, will it affect the chance of the crystals becoming anything? Let's find out. I'm going to pause for a second. Right back. I'm going to boil the kettle. Pour that into there. Some boiling water in there. Try that. So back in a second. Right. I was moving so fast that I just did one. Looked up and the camera wasn't recording. It's definitely recording now. So I swapped one to the container that I had. I quickly whipped up another one using really hot tap water this time. So I thought I'm not going to risk it with boiling in case I do something. I don't know, these are chemicals, so what if boiling's too much? And it dissolved. So I was like, oh brilliant, it's dissolved. You know, I'm going to call it quits there, save the third one for if those two don't work. Looked up and saw the camera was on. And I've made the same issue in that one as well. Like, I've left the kitchen light on, so there's flickering up the corner here. Not so much in the middle. So hopefully, it's only going to be about 3 minutes worth of recording, so I do apologise for that. If I could perhaps call being a bit more prepared. Not trying to go as fast. Is it more haste, less speed? But I needed to be quick, because I needed this water to be hot enough. And it's so cold. We actually have a bit of snow, a bit of hail, a bit of sleet going on today. I didn't want the water to get so cold that it didn't dissolve again. So I've got two. I've got trial number one that's got cling film over the top of it and an elastic band on top of it. Trial number two, I swapped to a Doritos salsa dip jar. That comes with a lid, so that was handy. And then attempt number three, hopefully this will go like attempt number two did, because that's like really clear water. There's no bits left in the bottom or anything. So I'm hoping this is going to go the same way, and it looks like it is. So again, I used the same really hot tap water that I did last time. The only difference was this time there was a extra couple of seconds delay while I made sure I was actually recording. So hopefully, between the 3 attempts, one of them will be fruitful. And at least now, it won't have to be like 3 days apart, I guess. So we can look at these tomorrow. See if we have anything growing whatsoever. Now, the kit shows you all these different coloured ones, but I don't think these are going to be different colours. I think they're all going to be white. One of the things I was reading online was about adding food colour to make it a different colour. But we'll see. That can be in like the next experiment stage, because this should produce a little crystal in each one. And then what should... Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to be able to grow them because I've used it all now. If I get another box, if this works and we have little crystals in there, I will buy another box and try and grow them into bigger ones. Because apparently what you can do is that you put them back in the mixture again with the crystal, the little baby crystal already formed, and it should grow into an even bigger one. But we'll see. I'm not going to waste my money and go and buy another one right now. I'm in case none of this works and tomorrow we've just got 3 glasses of potassium sulphate, or was it aluminium potassium sulphate water kicking around. I think that's fully dissolved. It has. Okay. So let's... Where did I put the lid? Oh my god days. Over there, that's okay then. Right. Experiment number 3. It's around midday today, so around midday tomorrow, there should, well, not tomorrow, throughout the night at some point. I could check them before I go to bed. I'm going to bed quite late. There should be some signs of life. If that's the case, I'll quickly record just a couple of minutes just to show that there is signs of life, and then we'll have a proper look at them tomorrow, and then I'll be going shopping again in a couple of days' time. So if they do work, I will get another pack, hopefully the shop will have another pack, and try and make them even bigger. So that's all we can do right now. So I'm going to clear the area, leave these over there, fingers crossed, turn the main light off for my next session of recording, otherwise the flickering will be there, creating a nuisance of itself. Fingers crossed we'll have some form of crystal. I'd imagine them all coming out like this one down here. I don't imagine, that's like a geode style. I don't know how you get that without a rock forming around it. And obviously these are just fancy pictures, but I'd imagine it's going to come out something like that, like a really, really, really huge piece of salt. So yes, that's what we'll do. I'm going to clear up, take these off now that it's safe to take these off. And we will come back tomorrow to look at the crystals, or later on tonight. If it's looking good, we'll do a little shot later on tonight. If it's looking bad, we'll just save the failure for tomorrow. I have other things to crack on with right now, so see you in this video, maybe later on tonight, or tomorrow. So see you in a little bit.